Hi, this is Mrs. Wiest, and today we're going to take a look at chemical and physical changes. Physical changes do not result in a new substance. For example, when ice melts, it's still water. Other examples of physical changes are changes in shape, other changes in state like freezing, boiling, condensing, sublimating, etc., and dissolving of covalent molecules like sugar in water. We say that a physical change is one in which there are no new substances formed, and the original substances may be reclaimed by a physical process. A chemical change is one in which there is a new material made. Chemical changes always involve the creation of new substances. Cooking and baking are very good examples of chemical change. There are 4 basic signs that a chemical change has occurred. Number 1, a new color could appear that wasn't there before. Do you think bleaching is a chemical change or a physical change? If you think chemical, you're right. Number 2, we could have a change in temperature, or we could notice that some energy is being given off in the form of sound or light. That change must occur from within the substance with no external source. So, for example, if we heat a pan of water on the stove and it gets hot, that is not a chemical change, that is a physical change. Number 3, a new gas forms that was not there before. For example, if we react baking soda and vinegar, we see lots of bubbles, which is carbon dioxide gas, a new gas that wasn't there before. Remember, boiling a liquid into a gas is not a chemical change because the gas is not a new substance. Number 4, we could see the formation of a precipitate. A precipitate is a solid formed from the reaction of 2 solutions. The precipitate is a new substance that was not there before. Often we will have a color change along with the precipitate. What about dissolving? Dissolving is usually a physical change. The existing substance is still there, it's just distributed throughout a solvent. So, for example, if we dissolve some Kool-Aid mix in water and make Kool-Aid, that would be a physical change. But sometimes, some substances, like salts for example, go through a chemical process called dissociation. When they dissolve, the elements separate to form charged particles in the solution called ions. Here's an example of the formation of ions. If we start out with solid sodium chloride, when it dissolves in water, we end up with sodium ions and chloride ions. Solid sodium chloride is definitely chemically different from sodium ions and chloride ions. The ions in the solution conduct electricity and can also react in ionic reactions. Solid sodium chloride does not conduct electricity. So what do? Well, during dissolving, if we can detect a temperature change, we will classify it as a chemical change. If we cannot detect a temperature change, we will classify it as physical. When in doubt, always categorize dissolving as a physical change. Now try this example. Pretend you're watching a candle burning. Make a list of all the physical changes and all the chemical changes that might occur when a candle is burning. Pause the podcast, and then when you're finished, restart it. To sum up, what is the main difference between a physical change and a chemical change? A chemical change always involves the creation of a new substance. Physical changes do not. Now write your podcast question and we will see you in class.